incredible match is. Get your tickets early because we had to turn people away tonight. It's going to sell out.
Trios action on tap. Up next, as Los Suavecitos head into arguably the biggest match of their career.
For the homies that are banging the park after dark when guns spark, so we get off the words. I don't got to say my name because you already know it's lit. Grab yourself for punch, I'm already know. This is for the homies that are banging the park after dark when guns spark, so we get off the words. I don't got to say my name because you already know.
The following match is a six-man tag scheduled for one fall. And making their way around the ring, the trio Adrian Court. This is the hardest Celestes of them trenches, the freshest essays ever. Suavecitos.
We have seen Danny Rose and Ricky G in tag team action, most recently challenging C4 for the tag team championships back at No Art, No Cowboys, No Rules in Missoula, Montana. We saw Adrian West in Scramble action back at Rise Above, our very first event in Southern California. But tonight, Trios action, joining forces here in Prestige for the very first time ever.
Los Suavecitos, they're going to have their hands full tonight, but let me tell you, this is a team that knows how to work together, knows how to strike hard, strike fast, and loves taking advantage of people who think that they're not dangerous to them.
Now talk about dangerous. He may not live in Southern California, but he lives and breathes Southern California. The aesthetic crippler returns to Prestige.
And their opponents, introducing first, making his way into the ring from Buffalo, New York, the aesthetic crippler, Kevin Blackwood!
When you talk about chips on the shoulders, Jack Farmer, Kevin Blackwood scheduled to compete for the Prestige Wrestling World Championship in the main event of Roseland 7. Had to miss that match due to illness, certainly something to prove.
Very much a high-impact striking wrestler, someone who's going to be quick, someone who can do just about anything in that ring, and someone who's not going to back down from any challenge.
Talk about how Kevin Blackwood was scheduled to compete for the Prestige Wrestling World Championship. Here comes the Prestige Wrestling World Champion.
And introducing second, making his way into the ring from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. This is your Prestige Wrestling World Champion, Alex Shelly.
I mean, you're looking at the champ for a reason. He's someone who is very, very technically gifted, but what sets him apart from all the other technically gifted wrestlers is he's quick. Not just fast, not just sudden, but quick in there, quick of mind and quick of body, and he's gonna need that talent in spades tonight.
You talk about quickness, you talk about talent personified by the third piece of this puzzle. has arrived in Prestige Wrestling.
And then third, 日本の浦安からプロレスの伝説ですタイヤマス
The Japanese ring introduction from one Emi Kiyoshi never fail to amaze. What a moment, Farmer. My goosebumps got goosebumps.
You want to talk about legends, you want to talk about legacy, you want to talk about tradition. No one does it better than Tiger Mask. Just a truly heroic figure for generations and decades. This is something that I feel so honored to get to be a part of.
Yeah, a veteran just shy of 3 decades, spending over 2 of those decades in New Japan Pro Wrestling. A special, special moment here tonight from the Vermont Hollywood.
We got bulls, we got tigers, we got everything.
Look at that. Where are the bears? Oh my. Of course, Los Suavecitos, Denny Rose, Ricky G, Adrian Quest. Perhaps a lack of big match experience, one could say, compared to Blackwood, Shelly, and certainly Tiger Mask. But they are a much more cohesive trio. This is, and as far as I'm concerned, from what my research showed, the first time that these 3 men have teamed. Not the case for Quest and Suavecitos. Their first time in Prestige, but far from their first time as a trio.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are probably looking at this matchup and thinking to themselves, Blackwood, Shelly, Tiger Mask, they're the favorites here, but these are 3 guys that always want to be...
A homecoming for the aesthetic crippler.
To my point, these are 3 guys that are used to being the star when they're in the ring. They're not necessarily guys who are built around working with others. Now, I know you'll say Alex Shelley, one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. His tag team partner isn't one of the guys in this matchup right now.
We saw Kushida, one of his tag team partners, victorious over Sonico in our opening contest. We're going to see one of his other tag team partners, Chris Sabin, head-to-head with Alan Angels a little bit later on tonight. But you're right, there is a distinct difference teaming with a brother that you've known for decades and decades, and then teaming with people who you, of course, are familiar with, who you, of course, respect. But there is no teacher that compares to experience as far as tag team wrestling is concerned.
Absolutely, and again, these guys are used to being the stars. They want to be the focal point of their team. And you talk about how Kevin Blackwood lost the opportunity to have a championship match. You think that's not eating at him right now as he's in this match?
You don't think he wants a piece of the Prestige Wrestling World Championship and Alex Shelley?
I mean, if you're Alex Shelley, how do you trust that he's going to be there to take the tag, you know? I mean, I have faith in Kevin Blackwood, but this is a competitive business.
Right now it is Kevin Blackwood starting things off here against Danny Rose. And one kick taking Rose off his feet. Again, I mentioned for a very, very long time, Kevin Blackwood, a native of Los Angeles, relocating back home to Buffalo, New York. I was talking to him back earlier. In the back earlier, excuse me. Not to peel the curtain back too much, but for Kevin Blackwood, he misses Southern California. And I know every opportunity to compete in the ring in front of the Los Angeles faithful means that much more to him.
Well, this is a great place to be. It's a competitive place to be. Not just in the ring, but everything about LA is a very competitive place. And that's why guys like Suavecitos, they're a team that, again, they may not be the team everyone is looking at as the favorites here, but they're used to being competitive. This is every day for these guys. I always say Los Angeles, city of bright lights, but bright lights create dark shadows, and that's where Los Suavecitos live.
Ricky G tagged in the legal man. And now Kevin Blackwood tagging in the Prestige Wrestling World Champion. If there is any ego, if there is any resentment from Blackwood towards missing that Prestige Wrestling Championship main event back at Roseland 7, certainly not manifesting yet.
Well, you know, it's... Well, you know, if you're Kevin Blackwood and you want a piece of Alex Shelley down the road, maybe you're saying to yourself, why don't you get in there? Why don't you fight these three guys? I'll sit on the outside.
Perhaps trying to have Shelly soften himself up here, if you will.
Maybe. I mean, maybe that's the game plan. Maybe Kevin Blackwood's saying, I'm going to have a chat with Tiger Mask while you take on these three.
Ricky G trying to soften Alex Shelley up, wrenching to the head of Prestige Wrestling World Champion. Again, the only two-time champion in company history. Over 715 days with that championship. As fended off the likes of Speedball Mike Bailey, Tom Lawler, Dalton Castle, Charlie Haas, Lindsay Dorado, Titus Alexander, Ray Horus, Bandito, Calvin Tankman, Yamato, Sonico, Jonathan Gresham. Yes, Kevin Blackwood previously. Most recently, Nick Wayne, Chris Sabin, and Alan Angels. The list goes on and on and on.
It would have been faster to say who he hasn't beaten.
Yeah, no
Jordan
kidding.
Castle. I think right now, Suavecitos, though, they're falling into the trap of trying to win this as three different one-on-one matchups instead of a six-man tag. I think what they need to start doing is getting a lot more fast tags like we're about to see.
Oh, this is a very important tag, as Tiger Mask is legal in a Prestige Wrestling ring. So cool to see Alex Shelley be the one to make the tag to Tiger Mask. Those two, no strangers to one another, actually rubbed elbows several years ago in the infancy of TNA wrestling.
Yeah, well, Adrian Quest is one of these guys. He doesn't have a chip on his shoulder.
Nice
He is
springboard
the chip.
cross body, but only a two.
He is the chip on the shoulder. He's not going to let the fact that Tiger Mask is a legend intimidate him. He's not going to let the fact that he's really one of the most well-known names in all of pro wrestling take him down a peg or two. He's going to come at him and try to show that he's just as tough, and he doesn't even care that he's someone special. He's going to kick him in the face. He's going to beat him down. He's going to fight him just like anybody else.
Coming at him with a big backbreaker there, the timeless Tiger Mask. You know, I mentioned Tiger Mask spending the majority of his career in NJPW. Adrian Quest, no stranger to the king of sports, a veteran, a stalwart of New Japan Strong. Here we have him getting worked over by one half of the former NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions.
Of course, all three of these guys, Shelly, Blackwood, and Tiger Mask, no strangers to having people trying to show them up. So this is not a situation they're uncomfortable with, as we see Alex Shelley slowing it down and taking things to the mat where he's at his best.
Well, and let's address the elephant in the room, right, Jack? Right, Jack Farmer?
Let's do it.
Alex Shelley, still the Prestige Wrestling World Champion. Just about a month ago, the first day in the rebirth of TNA Wrestling, that Alex Shelley lost the newly reminted TNA World Championship. He does not want his Prestige Wrestling World Championship reign to meet the same fate. No doubt more determined than ever here tonight. A raking in the eyes of Quest, proving my point.
Well, I think to your point exactly, yeah, I think we're seeing just how violent and vicious someone like Alex Shelley can be. Look, I know people don't want to say this, but when you have multiple championships, you got to...
Come on! Los Suavecitos with a cheap shot on Blackwood and Tiger Mask, excuse me.
Well, like a pack of wolves, Los Suavecitos finally ganging up on the prey. This is where they're dangerous. This is where they're great. When they gang up, when they use the numbers, even if they're equal numbers, when they work together as a team, this is what separates them from the All-Star team. This is how they become the Monstars instead of the Toon Squad.
Well, again, Jack Farmer, I'm not sure if I'd call it great, but it's certainly effective because Los Suavecitos don't have the honor of a Shelly or a Blackwood or a Tiger Mask. They're not afraid to take the cheap road. They're not afraid to take the easy way out. But right now, Blackwood trying to make them pay.
Well, see, the way I would say that is they're not burdened by honor. They're not burdened by self-respect. They don't care if they're someone that people don't look up to or cheer about.
You know a lot about self-respect, Jack Farmer.
I certainly do. And hey, look, these guys, they know that they're here to win. I mean, we talk about, Alex Shelley not wanting to lose a title soon, or what's happened in TNA. We're talking about Blackwood and how he lost the title, Tiger Mask legacy. All those Suavecitos want to do is get the win. And that's what's most important tonight. And that's why they were able to take the momentum here and turn it around by doing what they do best, and that is being a pack animal.
We're seeing that here. Frequent tags. In comes Danny Rose with a sunset flip and a big kick to the mush from Ricky G. Cover from Rose, but a kick out from Shelly. And you can see Shelly back up to his feet, tried to regain a vertical base, instantly crumpled here. Really feeling the effects of the offense from Los Suavecitos.
Well, we talk about how Alex Shelly, now without that TNA championship, no more options as a champion. He's only got this Prestige championship to hold on to. And so now
he still has gold in the wrestling revolver, right. But who cares about that?
Right. Well, I mean, I'm talking about prestige here. I'm talking about prestige wrestling.
That's all that matters.
And he still has that championship, but imagine what that does for Los Suavecitos to do this to the champion of prestige, to put him in a corner, to beat him up, and to possibly get a pin over him. What does that do to this group?
All right, now they may be seconds away from making that hope a reality. Frequent tags. Shows how experienced they are as a trio. Shows how well-oiled this machine really is.
This gang, Los Suavecitos.
Danny Rose with a splash, assisted from Ricky G, but a kick out from the world champ. Again, Jack, Alex Shelley has a Prestige Wrestling World Championship title defense scheduled for March 24th back in Portland, Oregon. Prestige Wrestling presents a Live 2. We don't know who his opponent is, but Alex Shelley does not want to go into that match, does not want to go into Portland on March 24th after eating a loss.
Wrestling is all about momentum, and when you can get on a win streak, you can become unstoppable. Vice versa, when you get on a losing streak, it can be very hard to turn it around. And here we go, Los Suavecitos, what brought him to the dance.
Trying to find that momentum, trying to use the momentum of the Prestige Faithful to make a tag, but right now, killing two birds with one stone off that clothesline.
This is that tag team background of Alex Shelley working out as he does get the tag to Kevin Blackwood.
In comes the aesthetic crippler, 2-for-1 special. Here against Los Suavecitos, a flurry of body strikes.
People will talk about best strikers in the game when it comes to pro wrestling, but I will put Kevin Blackwood in there with any of them when it comes to striking.
I mean, Jack, it probably is my favorite match I've ever called in a professional wrestling ring. Kevin Blackwood welcoming Roderick Strong back to independent professional wrestling, back at Black Sunshine, shoulders down here. If that's what Kevin Blackwood could do against the Messiah of the Backbreaker, I mean, it should be no surprise the domination we're seeing here.
Well, we talk about the momentum factor, and Roderick Strong got a very big win there, and look what he's been able to do since then. Now with big gold opportunities on the horizon himself.
Kevin Blackwood going for the double foot stomp, has made a career out of hitting that maneuver from absolutely anywhere. And this is very interesting to me, Jack Farmer. The very first match I ever called in Prestige Wrestling was back at Rise Above. It was a scramble match featuring both of these men. And you know who won on that night? Kevin Blackwood.
And you don't think that's been stewing with Adrian Quest? Adrian Quest is one of these guys who gets upset and frustrated about
Shoulders
guys
down.
like Blackwood.
We talk about stewing, trying to take over 2 years of pent-up aggression out on the aesthetic crippler here.
And Adrian Quest, he's a brawler, he's a fighter, he can fight dirty and he can fight nasty, but he's also a great technical wrestler.
That perfect balance of the street tough tenacity mixed with the technical prowess, it is what has made Los Suavecitos so dangerous in West Coast Pro Wrestling and beyond. Look at this! Cover here! Broken up by Shelly.
And again, I always like to use that Wolfpack mentality phrase because you'll notice the way they pounce on their enemy when they can outnumber them. That's how wolves win. And we see it here. This is how they take down bigger animals. But
Kevin Blackwood sending Los Suavecitos careening into each other. You're right, but all it takes is one misstep for the aesthetic crippler to regain control.
That's what being a dangerous striker is all about, being able to turn momentum quickly.
And in comes the legendary Tiger Mask.
And sometimes, every now and again, the tiger needs to show the rest of the animals that he's the king of the jungle.
He was thinking Tiger Bomb, had the arms butterflied, but Los Suavecitos spoiling the moment. Big kick to the face of Rose. Evades the Nelson. from Adrian Quest.
And if there's anyone who's seen and done it all, it's Tiger Mask. Not the first time he's had to deal with a couple of people trying to gang up on him.
Again, such a treat to see Tiger Mask here in the continental United States. Such a rarity, prestige wrestling, bringing the very best in the world. He's not thinking Avalanche, Tiger Bomb, oh my God! Floats over into the cover, but broken up by Adrian Quest.
And I just want to talk about how Adrian Quest, again, not letting the name value of his opponent stop him. Still coming at him like this is a prison fight.
Again, Adrian Quest is a big match wrestler. We've seen him in New Japan Strong. We've seen him in CMLL. But look at Blackwood. Double foot stomp from the top. Big jumping knee there from Ricky G. Gets caught here from Shelly. Shell shock.
And are we going to see it, Jordan Castle? Tiger Driver!
Tiger Bomb!
Here are your winners, the team of Kevin Blackwood, Alex Shelly, and Tiger Man!
You know, Jack Farmer, usually I have some fun, cool way to articulate what we just witnessed. This is just so damn cool. What a privilege it is to sit in this booth alongside you, my friend. Prestige wrestling forever.
Obviously, Shelly's great. Obviously, Blackwood's great. But as I said at the top, Tiger Mask, a generational legacy star and a true moment to get to call a match with him. What a feel-good moment tonight.
And Jack Farmer, this is not our main event. We still have so much more to go. Chris Sabin versus Alan Angels, Sandra Moon versus Jordan Grace, and then the dream match main event, Speedball Mike Bailey versus Mustafa Ali. We need to take a brief, and I mean brief intermission to reset, but don't go anywhere. We will be back with a moment of violence very, very shortly.